What's up, people? Welcome to Power to the People once again. A very important topic today. It's don't be afraid of the court. It was meant for you. Um, and and so there's a couple of things that are very important to understand. Very important to begin with for me to pass on to you and for you as members of the community and the public to understand that this is your right. These courts, they were made for you. They belong to you. The 2 points. One, the court is a public venue, and and then two, the judges are uh, they're public servants, and so they were made for you. Both of them. You have the power. We give them the power when we don't know what to do, when we don't understand how the system works, and we give them that power. So don't be afraid of going to court. Don't be afraid of speaking up, um, and putting your points across. Now, I will tell you this, and I think this is a very important thing to understand, is that when you hire an attorney, and I'm not just saying just to be anti-attorney, but this is a fact. When you hire an attorney, you're deeming yourself incompetent to run your own proceeding. And so, how many of you have heard or have seen the portrayal of the judge hitting his gavel and silence in the court, or I'm gonna hold you in contempt? And that comes from that. When you hire an attorney, they could legally shut you up because you hired an attorney because you deemed yourself incompetent to run your own proceeding. And so they expect your attorney to be the one to speak on your behalf. When you don't hire an attorney, you rarely see that. Rarely, and there have been some instances where you might see that, and that usually comes up when either the defendant is getting out of hand and he's starting to say things that he shouldn't be saying, like just being rude, telling the judge things. Guys, once again, let's be smart about this. We're not there to be rude. We're not there to insult. We're there to protect ourselves. We're there to defend our rights. And so, don't hire an attorney. You could say whatever you need to do to say. You're there to defend yourself. And so you have to be given the right to defend yourself. You have to be given the right to speak on your behalf and say whatever you need to say to defend yourself. Don't be rude about it. Don't insult, but you have the right to speak. Um, when you hire an attorney, on the other hand, you hired that attorney to speak on your behalf. And so that's a very, very important thing to understand when you go into court with an attorney representing you, is that if the court tells you to be quiet, um, technically you have to, and they have the right to hold you in contempt for speaking out of turn. Um, but overall, the message that I wanted to get out to you guys: don't be afraid of the court. The court was made for you. The court was made for the people. The court does not belong to the judge. The court belongs to you, the defendant, and the petitioner. And so it is there for you to fight it out, argue it out, show the facts. And that's another thing. The court has to be based on facts. It has to be based on evidence and law. And so those are, once again, very important things to understand. Everything needs to be based on evidence and law. If there's no law, then there's nothing. If there's no evidence, there's nothing. And so Just a little something for you guys to kind of open your eyes and come to that understanding. Those courts were made for you. You have the right to be there. You have the right to speak up under the right circumstances. And the judge is a public servant. He's there for you. You voted him in, either directly or indirectly, through your vote or through the vote of your peers. But most of these judges, and I say most of them because there are some judges that are not voted in. Those are associate judges, and we'll get to that topic sometime in the future. That's a very important thing to note, is that these judges that are not voted in, how they get in, how they're sitting in the bench. But we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, start gathering up your courage to do your own research, and to step into that courtroom confident in yourself and the knowledge that you gain up until that day. That courtroom is made for you. It doesn't belong to the judge. He does rule in that courtroom, and so he can set certain rules. A lot of this, if it's a rule that's a little bit out there, they can make whatever ruling they want, but there has to be an order. So just because he says it doesn't necessarily mean that is the rule. But do a little bit of research on the next video. I'm probably gonna show you guys a few books that you all need to get a hold of, or I believe the law library will probably have these books, something for you to check out and touch up. Guys, you don't need to know all of the law. A funny story, my attorney, I was arrested on a Class B misdemeanor for criminal trespass. My attorney didn't know the elements of the crime for criminal trespass, and I believe I have the video for that, and it's actually very comical when I ask him, and he's stuttering and doing whatever he can to go through his computer really quickly to pull up the law. It's a simple crime. He should know the elements of the law, and he doesn't. And that's the reality of the judicial system. These attorneys don't know everything. The judges don't know everything. The judges most of the time rely on the prosecutor to tell them what the law is behind something, and they rely on the prosecutor because aside from that, they might rely on your attorney if you have an attorney. But if you don't have an attorney, and you don't speak up because you don't know you can, then they can't rely on you. But you have the right to speak up and say the law states this, and he has to take that into account. If he needs to take a minute to review that, then he could definitely do that. But they don't know everything. They don't have to know everything, and neither do you. When you are charged with a crime, it's very simple. There's a few books that you need to do research on, but before anything is look at the crime that you're being charged with. Read up on that. It's usually less than a page. It's usually a couple of paragraphs, a paragraph maybe, and learn that. Learn the elements of that crime. Make sure that everything that you did fit those elements, and then that'll give you a little bit more courage. And there's a couple of other books, the rules and procedures of the court, that I recommend you guys read up on, and that's it. But it's your court. Those judges, they're public servants. They're there for you, and you need to take that power back. I hope that sinks in, and hope to see you guys next time. Till next video.